What up, though? Welcome to the NFC South Blitz. It's your boy T-Word. They call me the People's Champ here. My co-host, I got Shon Scott, Jamie D Farley, and John Gotti. As y'all do every week, y'all join us so we can get y'all that good news. You know what I'm saying? So this is week 3. We're about to get this recap popping. So first of all, how y'all doing today?
I'm
Everything's
good.
good. Yeah.
All good. It's all good. It's all good in Buck Nation.
All good in Book Nation. I hear you. I hear you. So let's not delay. Let's jump right into it and get into the biggest game of the week, division rival, the oldest division rivalry. The Saints visited the Falcons in the MBS, mostly Bull, and walked away with a victory. It was an overtime game, and everybody's heart was pounding. I heard a lot of people visit the hospital after the game. 43-37 was the final score in favor of the Saints, and now you had the Saints sitting at 2-1, and Atlanta sitting at 1-2 with one division win and one division loss. So they still in the hunt because the Saints are 1-1 division as well. So I'm gonna throw it to you, Sean, and give me your thoughts on this game. What happened?
Um, my thoughts on this game is that Dan Quinn, go get Eric Reed. Stop playing.
Is that the
He's
answer?
available.
Where y'all gonna
Yeah,
put him
I
at?
mean,
Linebacker?
they need to put him all over the field, clone him maybe.
Uh,
But it's gonna take. We have to sign somebody off the street. You down 2 starting safeties. You putting a lot of faith in a second-year player. Casey had a really dumb penalty 2 weeks ago.
right.
He played. I want to say decently in this game. I mean, I don't even know if anybody played decently. I think that might be an overestimation of it.
He
We
wasn't he
couldn't
wasn't a
stop much.
liability. Yeah,
No, he definitely wasn't. So
yeah.
I
He did his
mean,
job. I just think that up front there was a lot going on at that second level with the linebackers. Talking about Duke Riley right up in there.
hmm
Just the way that the Saints offense is made, it's made to attack your second level. So
right,
your safeties have to play out of position in order to defend a lot of what Drew Brees does well. So I think that was a big part of what you
absolutely.
saw on Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you got Duke Riley handing the responsibility of Kamara off to um, Casey, you know that's not the answer. Like neither
Right.
one of them could really defend this man. He had a pretty decent game against us. So I mean, they gotta find a I don't know, maybe even a linebacker because I don't trust Duke Riley to fill in for Deion Jones like that.
Yeah, I think to me in a situation like that is where you make an adjustment to your scheme. You try to approach it a little bit different versus maybe trying to get a different player because at this point,
Yeah,
most of the quality players are either on somebody's practice squad or they on their 53. So it's kind of hard to find a guy that's gonna really be impactful. So you have to
right.
adjust your game plan. You have to try to hide your weaknesses and accentuate your strengths. And I think that's the position Atlanta is in right now with all the injuries. I just saw just a few minutes before we started that Edo Smith missed practice, and you guys really can't afford to have another injured running back either, even though Free is due to come back. How do you feel about not just the injuries? I guess I am asking, how do you feel about the injuries impacting your season going forward? Because this is a situation where it could get bleak really fast.
Well, for one thing, going into this game against the Saints, we lost Derek Shelby and Tack McKinley. I can't I don't know how many more bodies can drop. I don't know what they need to be doing differently. Who the strength and conditioning coach is, what he's doing or what. This is crazy. Like basically the whole defense went down within these last 2 weeks. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's rough going forward. You want to say you got a shot in each and every game because you still got that dynamic offense mostly intact, but man, when you get to the defensive side of the ball and the people we got out on the field, they can't stop anybody. It breaks your heart.
Absolutely. I
This
can
is
relate to that.
something you didn't account for this in the preseason or coming into the regular season. You not catastrophic injuries like this. So
Hey, as a Saints
yeah.
fan, I can definitely relate to not expecting your team to just die all at one time. So back to reflect on the game a little bit. So offensively, like you said, the team was efficient. They were effective. Matt Ryan did his thing. Specifically, he put up He went into a duel with Drew Brees. 26 of 35 for 374 yards, 5 TDs passing. So he did what he had to do. But the star of the day for the Falcons, in my opinion, was Calvin Ridley. He went off. Now, I want you to give me some honesty here. Do you think that was a reflection of poor cornerback play or just excellent Calvin Ridley?
I can go down the middle and be fair and say maybe it was a little bit of both.
I see. I would say that's
Um,
accurate from my perspective too. I think the cornerbacks weren't good, but I think he had to be in position to get open, and he
right.
came through on it. I think he had 7 targets and he had 7 catches for 146 yards and 3 TDs. That's efficient right there.
Absolutely. And they were rolling all that coverage to Julio, and that's a mistake. You can't just account for one player.
That's true. Now, one thing I will point out is in the second half, after he cooked PJ Williams in the first half, they did switch over and put Marshawn Lattimore on him, and he essentially went quiet. He had 1 catch in the second half, so he did all his damage in the first half. So we could get into it in the second segment because I do want to ask if you put a different type corner on him, if you're going to get a different result. It shouldn't go unmentioned that Julio Jones did have 5 catches for 96 yards, still has not found his way into the end zone yet. So I think that's something we could talk about going forward as well. On the flip side, statistically, you had Drew Brees put up 39 of 49, basically 80% of his passes completed, 396 yards passing, 3 TDs. But the surprise of the day was Drew Brees having 2 rushing TDs. And let's talk about this play. So you got Brian Poole and I think it was Alford trying to make a tackle, and they basically wipe each other out. Brees breaks a tackle and dives into the end zone. From the Falcon side of the fence, what was that like watching that happen?
I think you can pretty much guess what that was like for us. It
My
was the
defense is
most.
full of bums.
Oh
It's
Lord.
embarrassing to say the least.
Yeah. I could definitely, because all of the uh all of the back and forth about Marcus Williams missing the tackle. I mean, 2 people missed the tackle. So, I mean, that's pretty much an interesting situation to see play out. So, Gotti, since we got you on here too, man, what you think of the game?
Um, well, first of all, I'm sorry, Sean, but I called that. I know y'all remember. I called that on the end of the show that y'all was gonna come in there, and you know what I'm saying. They was just a little they was just too injured, I believe. I mean, they just didn't have enough. And I mean, like I said, being that it was a rivalry, it's like anything can. I just every time when y'all play, it's kind of like anything can happen to me. Like I don't really look into who's at home and all that because I know they always want to win just as bad as y'all want to win, regardless of where y'all are playing at.
Right.
So, but I mean, they just didn't. I mean, Ridley he did surprise me though because I didn't. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think he really had much. I didn't think he was much anyway. Like I don't know. I saw his tape in Alabama and stuff. But I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't. I couldn't see him in his rookie season, especially having one game like that contributed so much to the offense. Like with all those receivers that they have, I couldn't see him having a game like that in his
Hey,
rookie season.
I called it when they drafted him. I said, man, that's Julio replacement. If Matt Ryan could build some chemistry, he gonna go that way. Now, Jamie, before we switch over to y'all game, what you got to say about the Saints Falcons matchup?
Um, I knew it was going to be a tough one in between the two, but I also am not surprised that Ridley had such a good game because when we played him, it was like our defense couldn't do nothing with him. And you
Hmm.
talk about somebody mad. Oh my goodness. So I think that this kid is going to be a breakout star for them too. And that's just giving credit when credit is due.
Right.
Hmm. I don't know, man. I need some more tape on him. I mean, because he was kind of ghosted when he saw some better corners against Philly, and then against Carolina.
Well,
Y'all not known for the secondary.
They didn't throw to him, so I mean, you can't really hold him accountable for that.
You got to be open to
That
get thrown to when you're
you really
rookie.
think he wasn't open?
I don't think he was open. I think he was covered up. That's just my opinion. I watched the game and he didn't look impressive against Philly, but then you get up against 2 marginal secondaries or well really for New Orleans a bad secondary right now, and he looked like an all-star. That's why I said I think I can't really necessarily play it down the middle and just say that he's so talented that he's gonna do that to a lot of defenses. I think better defenses are gonna give him trouble. because when you put Lattimore on him in the second half, he disappeared completely. That was one-on-one for the second half. He had one catch for like 10 yards or something. So to me, I think that he's good and he's going to get better. I can't really crown him the true replacement to Julio, even though I think that he is the eventual replacement to Julio.
Well, the thing about him having one catch though is that Matt Ryan started to spread the ball around more in that second quarter. I
Well,
mean, in the second half.
I agree.
So,
The heat was turned up. The pressure started to come. Cameron Jordan got both his sacks in the second half. So they started bringing a little bit of blitz and started doing some different stuff. But for the most part, I just think that one-on-one, he just couldn't get open. I mean, and then Matt Ryan started checking down to the tight end. When you're getting pressured, the first person to catch passing going to be the tight end. So I think we could put a pin in it right there. I feel like we're not going to agree on that. So let's try to transition to the Panthers game. And you guys came in trying to come off a loss, trying to recover, and face the Bengals, who were hot. They were 2-0 coming in, Jamie. So give us your thoughts on this game.
I was a little worried. I'm not even gonna tell you no lie. After the way I had watched our defense play Atlanta, I was a little worried. But I think that Cam started off hot. He had 2 touchdowns. Our defense, if I'm pronouncing the kid's name, is it Obada? It's something Obada. He had 2 interceptions.
Call him
Luke caught.
Effie. Call him Effie.
Call him Effie.
That's
Luke
his
caught
first
one
name.
in the end zone, so the defense looked so much better to me this week than they did when we played Atlanta. Even the offense, I just thought that he was just energized and he got it going, even though they had scored first. To me, they showed that, because I think where we lack is that after the second half, it's like we just dropped everything. But they held it together and pulled out a win, so I was tickled to death.
I see. So offensively, it looks like you had a sensational performance from second-year running back Christian McCaffrey, 28 carries,
He did.
184 yards. Didn't get in the end zone, but he did put up. I saw a couple nice, long, decent runs from him. So do you think that he's going to be turning the corner with the way that this offense is now, or is it maybe just they caught the Bengals slipping?
He's still trash.
No, he ain't trash hater. I think this kid is really gonna be something to look at. He to me, he showed up even in preseason, so he just continues to show up every week.
That's true.
To
That's
me,
true. I mean, he is doing a lot better this year. So I'm about to put you on the spot. If you had to compare him, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, who's better right now?
oh
Jamie, don't let him set you up like that. Jamie, just
yeah, he trying to set me
just
up. Yeah,
answer the question and just keep it moving. It's really not even a question. He's just trying to
yeah.
he's
See,
trying
you
to try
trying
you.
me a little bit, but
You know, you a Panthers fan, but don't be no fool on the podcast.
I'm gonna say what John Gotti says. Next question.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
that's
Ain't
what
the,
I'm talking about.
they said what you
That's
said,
what I'm
John
talking
Gotti
about.
last week. Next
That's what
question.
I'm talking about, girl. Next question. She don't. We ain't doing that to you. You can't do her like that.
But I do have a lot of confidence in that young guy. I think that he's definitely gonna be something
Yeah,
spectacular for the
Yeah, he
Panthers.
he
he's
coming
not a
around this
huge
year.
bum. He's just a small bum right now.
Wow.
John Gotti, come on now.
He's definitely coming around this year. I had said it after week 1, and I watched him in the preseason, and I realized that he looked a lot more comfortable running the ball. I wasn't sure
He
if
does.
it was a function of the new offense or if it was just a function of him just having a year of experience under his belt. But he does look better. I just was throwing it out there just to mess with you, but he definitely is going to have a much better season. I expect a lot of production, and more so from the running side of things versus the passing side, like you would with a Kamara. So you really can't even compare those two backs. You're going to be comparing him to the Kareem Hunts and the David Johnsons of the world, not the scat backs like Kamara. So you did right. You did right. So
Also, I want to say I've been waiting on Funches to show me something because I have been so annoyed with him. And he had 67 yards and 1 touchdown. So I am very pleased that he's slowly showing up because I would just have been livid. Like, okay,
Yeah, he ain't got a choice. They gonna have to get more out of him because your other receivers are really struggling. And I mean, and Torrey Smith, because of his advanced age, you got to assume that he's not gonna be available as much as they want him to. He only had 3 catches for 19 yards. DJ Moore, it seems like he's gonna be hot or cold. Maybe he'll have a rookie season like McCaffrey did last year, and then come on next year. So there's a lot of little moving parts to that offense that's gonna need some tweaking or something like that.
Absolutely, and we definitely have to utilize all our weapons. But I was very impressed with the way that they came off from losing to Atlanta to how they showed up against the Bengals.
Yeah.
So I was tickled.
Good bounce back game. And your corning back, Cam Newton, had 2 touchdowns.
Such a hater. He did. He
I'm not
he he
hating.
looked
My
he looked
quarterback,
very.
my quarterback had 3 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. So I ain't hating.
I seen that from Papa Drew. I'm trying to figure out what did y'all give him, but
Steroids.
Cam did.
Well, let's not forget who's still leading the league in passing now. Let's don't.
Yeah, the dude that's about to be on the bench after next week.
Yes, yes, sir. Let the church
Fitz
say yes.
tragic. Fitz
Let the
tragic.
church say yes. Hey, that's my guy though, man. I ain't finna be on
Hey, well,
record
since
trashing
since
him like that.
since
I
since you brought him
appreciate I
up,
appreciate everything Fitz been doing.
since you brought him up, let's go on transition. But before we do, Jamie, you got any closing shots on the on last week's game for the Panthers? Any final
no, I
thoughts on
think
it?
no, I think I'm good. I'm ready to go over to the magic show.
What magic? Okay, so let's talk about the
Hey,
Tampa Bay
hey, hey,
Buccaneers.
hey,
Tampa Bay
hey.
Buccaneers Monday night hosted the Pittsburgh Steelers, who came in limping. They was 0-1-1, and it just looked shaky for them coming in. A lot of people weren't giving them a chance, and then somehow, some way, they magically pull off a victory and held on for the win. So, Gotti, I'm gonna go and throw it to you,
Magically,
man.
huh?
Yeah,
Magically.
man, I got a gift, man. I got to use it. I'm
Hey,
gonna
you
throw it to
can't
you,
you,
bro.
you you don't use those terms regarding other teams and stuff like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. With the Magic is in Tampa. Ain't no magic come from that side. That was a little luck.
I don't know.
No, but I
Hey, I
mean,
guess Fish ran out of rabbits. Go ahead, man.
no, he just I guess he decided to start the actual show in the second half. Like all whatever was going on in the first half, that wasn't a part of the show. I guess that was just I don't that was
That's
pregame
the
or something.
preseason.
The opening
Yeah,
act.
right. That was like he was just warming up, and then I guess he woke up in the second half or whatever. But I mean, it was a good game. It was like, I mean, I ain't even gonna say I can't say it was a good. We played decent. I ain't even gonna say we played good because it was like I feel like we shouldn't have came that far behind like that fast like because that was just like to me I saw like a typical. That was just to me like a typical Buck game. Like if you like just thinking on how last year went, you just get too far behind, and then when you try to come back, it's just you know what I'm saying. You stall out at the end. That just was like it was too normal. Like like I knew what was gonna happen when we got behind like that.
Yeah. Now, if you recall, the last time we spoke about it, obviously we couldn't get the podcast up for that, but I had asked you about how would your team respond if they fell behind, and they fell behind early. It was 30-7 at one point, and Tampa
Right.
Bay did make a strong comeback, especially in the fourth quarter with some Fitzpatrick passes. Um, but
Yeah, it was
this
20,
team
20 unanswered points, I believe.
Yeah, the thing about it is there were some plays that happened that could have put y'all back in the game a lot sooner and gave him a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
more
there
time to
was
make
yeah
something
there was
happen.
there was definitely there was like three to four good plays left on the field that would have easily won us the game. We
Yeah,
we would have
Godwin
we would have
dropped
won.
a big first down that would have kept the drive going. That would have
Right,
resulted in
right. That
maybe a
was a killer.
TD,
That was
and
a
then he
killer.
dropped the
And
TD.
the tip pass interception was a killer.
Yeah, and he dropped the TD in the end zone. So I mean, I know that you guys are ready to crown him the next great thing down there, but there have been mental lapses since he's been down there that let you know that maybe he's not quite ready to take that step. Do you know what that
Hey,
might be a
hey,
part
hold
of?
on, hold on, hold on. Let me kill that because far as what I mean from what I've been seeing from the youngin, and if that was week 3, if he play, I'm not sure if he played all games last season, but if he played all game last season, this about his 20th game. I would say this was his first bad game. Like I can't if you could what I'm saying, you could remind me, or you can what I'm saying, refresh my memory. I don't remember him having like a game as far as him like dropping important passes and making like costly fumbles the way he did. I haven't seen him have a game that bad since he's been in the league. I think that was.
Well,
That was
not
like a
necessarily dropping TDs and fumbling the ball, but more or less just mental lapses. When you see receivers struggle with their hands a little bit at time, and that's why I feel like he had to work his way up into more game time reps because he did have some inconsistency with the catching, some catchable balls he wasn't really making the most of early in the year. He came on late, nobody can deny that. But sometimes when you have little things like that with young players, that pops back up, and I feel like it popped up at the wrong time on Monday night.
yeah, but I like him though. I'm telling you, he ain't a typical wide receiver. He's more of a he's one of those like he's gonna be the number two real fast once we let go of Djax. But like he could easily and like he could be a number one on a few other teams. I would believe he would be like a number one for other teams in another year or two. Like once he gets some more time on his belt, because when he's playing good, man, it's like it's hard to stop him. I mean, like even outside of just catching passes. Like if you see like a few games. I think it was it the Eagles game. Yeah, it was the Eagles game on that OJ touchdown. Did
Hmm.
you see? You saw him. He was what? He was 40, 50 yards down the field, still blocking for OJ on that play, making sure Jenkins didn't get to him. He just
No,
does everything.
no, no doubt. He's definitely a versatile receiver. I'm looking to see when he'll have that I'm here moment, that arrival game. So it was just interesting to see how he did recover later. He still was a part of the offense. Fitz had enough, I guess, confidence in him to go back to him as he was trying to make drives. But I did see some things as far as the Bucs did rely on a big play late, and I get it. When you're pressed against the clock, you have to rely on a big play. But I felt like the Steelers played a cloud coverage over top, and then they did some crazy
Yeah,
stuff with the
they
linebackers.
played deep. They played deep
Yeah,
over top and made us play from under.
and that's a lot of where those interceptions came from. I think when they got tired and they got burnt that first time in the second half, they tried to change their defense, and that really opened up the passing game for Fitz to throw deep. Because if you kind of look at it, he would 5-step drop on a regular basis, bombing it, and that's his comfort zone. That's what he wants to do. He wants to throw deep.
Right, right.
Mm.
But yeah,
So
he they were they that's what it was. They made us play from up under, and if you make Fitz have to throw the ball
read.
about, you know what I'm saying, 7, 8, 9 times in a drive, it's a good chance you could, you know what I'm saying, you can get a mistake.
Right.
He was succeeding a lot more when the drives were, you know what I'm saying, two or
Yeah.
three, four
Five
play
plays or
drives, and
less.
he right with a bomb down the field, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I said. If you could get him to have to dink and dunk and make short reads and make underneath plays, that's where he makes some mistakes. That's when he turned the Fitz tragic. And they did it, and it happened. So,
Oh. Y'all
but
happy?
Mhm.
Y'all, I know y'all happy.
nah, I predicted the game. The game
No,
played
actually,
out.
I'm not
The
because
game
I
played out
the man is
exactly.
on my fantasy football team. So
He
But I
still
want
got
to
you
tell
some
you, when I
points.
seen Joey come on there and say, "For the love of God, please lose," I laughed so hard.
Yeah, he said that right.
Right
He said that right at the beginning
at the beginning of the
of the game
game.
thread. Yeah, the game thread.
My
Hey,
question for you, Gotti, is that um, did you expect this to be an easy win? Did you expect your team to play much better playing this team?
I was I just didn't expect to go down that like those many points that fast in the game. I kind of expected, if anything, it was going to be more back and forth in the beginning, like just a shootout from beginning to end, kind of
in the
like the
New
Saints
Orleans
game.
game.
Well, not really like the Saints game, but just a shootout, more of like staying within the touchdown apiece. But they got up on us about 2 or 3 touchdowns early, and we just had to play from behind, and it wasn't enough time on the clock left, and just too many mistakes.
Yeah, it definitely got away quick, but I mean, Fitz put up a
But
valiant effort in the fourth quarter.
it's it's not nothing to really, you know what I'm saying, be upset about, like, because at like we all know at this point we were supposed to be doing a lot worse, so we'll take that.
That's what's up, man. Hey, every victory, even the small ones, matter. All of them. And y'all still in first place in the division. Y'all got the best division record. Ain't nothing
right.
can be done about that.
Correct.
That's real.
Correct.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and close this segment on that note. So y'all keep it locked right here. This is the NFC South Blitz. It's T Word, John Gotti, Shon Scott, Jamie D Farley. We'll be right back. Y'all keep it locked. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the NFC South Blitz. We pulling up on this thing. It's your boy T Word. I got John Gotti, Jamie D Farley, Shon Scott, and Britany Barnes. That's right. BB in the building. Tarpon Britt, what up?
Hey.
Welcome back to the show. So we did
Glad to be
our
back.
That's good. That's good. We got to have you on more often. So, in the first segment, we had talked about the recap of the game. We talked about the Saints win, the Panthers win, the Bucs show on Monday night, and now we're going to talk about these Week 4 matchups. So the Panthers are off this week, so Jamie gonna get a little break, but I'm sure she got something to say about all these games. So let's go ahead and start with the first game of the day. The noon kickoff at 1 o'clock Eastern time. It's gonna be the Buccaneers visiting the Bears and Khalil Mack. So, Gotti, Britt, what can we expect from this game? I mean, it's we looking for y'all to bounce back, or is there a little controversy because they haven't really announced who's gonna be the starter? What's good with it?
I think it's going to be a bounce back. Honestly, I really had kind of overlooked this game when I saw the schedule until they got Khalil Mack. I think we played didn't we play them first last year, and we kind of handled that game pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like we only got stronger from last year, so I wasn't really paying much attention to this game. Now, unfortunately, I know they added Khalil Mack, and they also added Trey Burton
Mm-hmm.
at tight end, which he's the one who wasn't he the one who threw the Philly special there?
Yep. Yep. That's the guy.
Right. I've been watching him since he was in high school. He played my rival's high school,
Oh wow.
so he played for them. So I've been watching him since he was in high school. He was a quarterback. He was fantastic. He played for my college team, Go Gators. So I've been watching him forever. He's fantastic. So I think that was a really good pickup for them. He's small. He's not going to be your blocking tight end. You know, he's going to be the receiving tight end, and also those plays where that tight end can throw too, because he does have a pretty good arm. So that was a good pickup for them. I think we'll bounce back though. I don't think there's really a quarterback controversy. I think they're trying to see if Fitz has any magic left in his magical hat, like he showed, on Monday in the second half. He brought the magic back. He did a little disappearing act in the first half, and then a reappearing act in the second half.
He found his rabbits. He found his rabbits in the
Right,
second half.
he found the rabbits. Yes. So I think they're going to see if there's any magic left in the tank. And if there is, then I think they'll start him after the bye week, honestly. But I think if he kind of fizzles the first half, we might see Jameis in the second half, which I'm really excited about too. I want to see Jameis throw with Todd Monken's offense, with his play calling,
Right.
and
With the
so I'm
first
excited either way. But I look for a bounce back. I think Khalil Mack, that's going to be the biggest hurdle
Who
for
is your right
us.
tackle? Who is your right tackle? Gotti, do you know who's your guys' right tackle?
Shit. We got Marpet. Hold on. We
Yeah,
got
Ali's the guard though, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's the right guard.
I was trying to name if I was gonna name the whole line out, and then it would have came to me. It ain't Bennett. It ain't Caleb. Who the fuck is Dotson? Is Dotson the right tackle?
That seems
Because
about right. I'm trying to
Donovan
think
is
of
the
your depth
left.
chart. Yeah.
That sounds good.
is the left.
Yeah. So, but that's going to be your challenge. Is he going to be up to handling the pressure that Khalil Mack is going to bring? And he's not just a speed rusher. Khalil Mack will run you over. So, do you feel like that? Do you feel like you guys are going to help that way,
Yeah.
or?
Well, if it's Dotson, I think Dotson can. Dotson is a big boy. Dotson's like 6'9", like 260, 270. I know he's 6'9", so he's not a small guy. So I think he can. Well, I mean, I don't think he's going. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's like we're not gonna hear from Mac all night, but I think he can contain him enough to where he don't affect the game.
Yeah, you got DeMar
But
Dotson. Yeah, that's going
for
to be your right tackle.
yeah, all right.
That's good.
So
He's good.
but for us in this game, yeah, he's the best. He was. I mean, last year he was the best graded tackle on the team.
Yeah, he definitely seems physically a good challenge for Mac. Um, he seems like a really good challenge for Mac. I'm wondering if you're going to see the whole arsenal from Mac, which later in the game might pay off because since Khalil Mack has been with his new team, he's been able to get going early. So if Dotson can actually stonewall him early, he might frustrate him and make him a non-factor, and that's not out of the question.
Right. Hopefully, for our sake, that's what happens. But for us, this game is about starting out early again. I think if we can get up like 14, 2 touchdowns or 2 possessions on them early in the game, I
Mhm.
think we can make it hard for that offense to come back from that.
Yeah, I could definitely understand that. So on the flip side of things, so we've talked about what your offense can do, and really you're looking for a bounce back from your offense. A lot of the problems on Monday night with the defensive side was because they were giving short fields with all the interceptions and everything in the first half. So they didn't play terrible.
Hmm.
It's just they were put in a bad spot. Plus 7 of those 30 points were pick six. So they really only gave up 23. And most teams can win if you only give up 23 points. So defensively, with Chris Conti out due to the PCL injury, who comes in for him, and what does your team look like offensively? I mean, defensively, otherwise.
We signed a safety
Yeah, we signed
um,
a guy.
from the
I forgot.
Giants.
I think his last name is Adams.
Okay, okay.
Mm, I can't remember. I think we signed somebody from. I think it was from the Giants.
Right, right. But I
So
think
I don't know if we look to. I don't know if we look to bring him in like immediately. I don't know.
I
Our
don't think he
secondary
start.
is so
I don't.
suspect
I
right
don't,
now.
I don't think he starts immediately. I
Yeah,
think Whitehead. I think they're gonna put Whitehead in there with Evans, and then dude, the new guy probably might rotate in.
Now, speaking of
I think
Evans, go ahead, Britt.
I think Whitehead. I've seen some pretty good things out of him. He's not great, but I think that Chris Conti's not great either. So really,
Yeah,
the two are probably pretty interchangeable. Chris Conti gets burnt so much.
right.
Um,
Whitehead's got room to
Obviously
grow.
gets stiff armed quite a bit after Monday's game. But if it was somebody else, I think in the secondary, I would be more concerned. Chris Conti, I feel like he's on his way out anyway. We're kind of at on our last leg with him. I think that everybody's kind of over Chris Conti at this point. So that's not really a huge deal
So
for
addition
me.
by subtraction, more or less. Addition by
Right.
subtraction. Maybe you give a young guy a
Exactly.
shot to take his spot. Okay, now you mentioned
Exactly.
Evans, and I've actually been impressed with his play in the last few weeks. And what do you guys expect from him? Do you think he needs to move to the other safety position in order to compensate, or does he stay in his role with Conti being out and another player stepping up?
I think he stays where he. I think he stays where he's at, and Whitehead
I think
just
so too.
fills in for Conti. But he's I'm liking him though. I mean, I think I don't know if you got the stats, but I think he's doing better than I think he's doing better than Marcus right now.
You think
He
he's
was he
doing
was
better in
great
what?
even
In
Then
the
coverage?
then no, I mean just I mean if we just stat wise, I mean like I don't I haven't heard like what has does Marcus got any interceptions or anything
Yeah,
like that this
he
year?
got a pick. He got a pick and a forced fumble. Plenty of
Okay.
tackles.
Okay.
Plenty of tackles. I see
I
you
think
slug and I
Evans
raise you one.
yeah, I'm just saying I think Evans numbers might outdo that right now if we look them up.
I
But
mean, the only number that's gonna matter to me is coverage grade at the end of the season. That's the only way you can compare safety, coverage grade. If his
all
coverage
right,
grade is better, I give him that because interceptions, man, you could luck into 5 interceptions and then don't get none for the rest of the year.
but
But
I
that
mean,
coverage grade,
y'all was bragging on the 3 or 4 that Marcus had last year. Like that's why he was gonna be Pro Bowl ready this year.
he's still Pro
Right now,
Bowl ready.
I think Evans will make it in before him. Right now, if the Pro Bowl was next week, I think Evans will have more votes.
You see, that's why
Uh
they don't
oh.
vote after
And
3 weeks. That's why they don't vote till
right,
week 8.
I'm just saying. But I mean,
Uh
I'm saying that because I made I don't know if y'all remember, but I made a post with both of those safeties numbers up and stuff from last year. I think they had the same
I
amount of
remember that.
interceptions last year, but we just didn't talk about Evans as much because he
Right.
didn't have such a good season.
Right. I agree with that. I think he's aggressive. I really like what I see from him so far, and that's so refreshing to say because I haven't been impressed with a safety since John Lynch. So
Nah,
I'm
that's
super.
lofty.
I have high hope. I have high hopes for him.
That is super
Right.
lofty right
He
there.
definitely looks better than what he did his rookie season. Like you could see him taking the step.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I'm definitely impressed with the player. I mean, I can compare him and say what I think that he will do versus Marcus Williams, but I also think that the coverage in front of it, neither one of them is getting much pass rush in front of him. So those players are going to be asked to do some weird things, and we'll see how
Right.
that plays out. But like I said, week 8, I can start to kind of decide what the player is. I want to see them coverage grades because if you're the safety valve, I just need to make sure that you back there doing your job. So let's go ahead and change gears and switch over to the Saints game real quick. And the Saints are going to head up to New York to face the Giants. And the last time these two teams played, they put up over 1,000 yards of offense. I believe it was 12 passing touchdowns. Breeze had 7. Eli had 5. and became one
Wow.
of 2 quarterbacks to throw 5 touchdowns and no interceptions and lose to Drew Brees. The other one is Matt Ryan. Just want to throw that in there. So this is gonna be a good game coming up.
You think it's gonna be a tight game, being that I think they're 1-2. Like, they don't look like to me.
Yeah, but they
Um,
look strong in their last game, so we can't look past nobody at all. This is a conference game, so this matters when you
Odell,
start talking about seeding.
Odell, Odell got to come out too.
Yeah, well, Odell gonna eat anyway. He's a force feeder. He's like AB.
Hmm.
AB gonna get you 10 and
Right.
100 in the TD. So you just got to know that you can't let Shepard beat you. You can't let that tight end Ingram beat you. You know, you can't let these other weapons. You got to contain Barkley, which the Saints' run defense has actually been pretty good. So I
Ingram has
feel,
not done crap all year. I don't feel. I mean, he's on my fantasy team, and I feel like I'm getting like threes out of him.
yeah,
So
but
I'm not concerned with
Yeah,
him
I've
for
been I've been
y'all.
benched him. I benched him
Yeah,
last week.
the thing about
he's on
it,
my nerves.
the thing about it, it's an old saying in Who That Nation, man. If you want to have a breakout game, play the Saints defense. So, I don't never let that make me look past a player. The player who's struggling the most and they end up on the Saints schedule, that's the guy who you need to start in fantasy football. That's just
I'll
facts.
remember that.
That's just facts. I'm telling you, because Ridley hadn't done a whole lot, and then he get 3 touchdowns and 150 yards on Sunday. So that
Yeah,
tells
that
you
was.
right there, you got to be careful. But I really think that the key to victory for the Saints is going to be slow down Saquon Barkley, make sure he don't get off. And he's the kind of player that if he don't get going early, he kind of regrets late in the game. And then just put pressure on Eli, because Eli has his best completion percentage of his career right now. And he's been playing pretty clean. I think he only has 1 interception, and that's not very Eli-like at all. So him and Breeze will probably get their first picks this week. Now, I want y'all
hmm.
to weigh in. Jamie, what you think about it?
I feel like y'all got an easy win. I just didn't. I
Ooh,
don't see them being. I know you just disagree with me, but
no,
they just haven't showed me too much of anything. You said the last game they came strong,
yeah.
so I feel like y'all will win this game.
Yeah, it's a road game, so I always get a little heart palpitations behind it, but we'll see. Got it. What you think, man?
I think it's gonna be a good one. I think yeah, cause they definitely got some weapons when Eli can get them the ball. So I mean it all for me. I think it depends it depends on how the battle in the trenches goes with y'all two, because they have a bad old line.
Yeah.
and and y'all, I mean, y'all got some good guys, but they haven't. I guess they haven't. You know what I'm saying? They haven't done what was expected, I guess, so far. But they still got the potential.
Well, Cam
So
Jordan's starting to show up, and I think that's going to get Marcus Davenport going. So I feel what you're saying. We're just not getting a lot up the middle. We're not collapsing the pocket from the interior, and we're just getting edge pressure, and it's just getting pushed outside. So it is going to be in the
right.
trenches. They O-line got some issues. Our D-line starting to come on, so that could be a nice battle to watch. I think offensively, you're actually going to see the Saints run the ball better than they have in a while, because they're going to commit to the ground game. Britt, what you think about it?
I think the line is going to be the deciding factor here. I think the O line of the Giants is just so bad, that that I feel like and since your line is starting to come on finally, I feel like that Eli's just going to be forced into some bad decisions, and just he's going to do what Eli does, and we might see a fit or two out of Odell in true Odell fashion,
Oh,
because
yeah.
he gets frustrated with Eli. So I if it was in New Orleans, I would say that you guys would win easy. But since it's in New York, it's always harder to play in New
It's
York for
somebody
some
else home.
reason. Yeah. But New York, especially, I feel like they just always find a way to win at home.
Right.
But I think it's going to be a good game. But I think that you guys are going to end up coming out on top.
Oh man, there's a lot of votes of confidence. Now I'm really concerned about the game. Sean, what you got? What you think about it?
Sean gonna come with it though. Come on, Sean.
I guess she's abstaining from this vote. So I'm gonna assume. I'm gonna assume
I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna
she's
speak for
gonna say,
Sean. Sean says y'all suck and you're gonna lose by a lot. That's what Sean's gonna say.
"Wow, we're gonna have to tack that on
I,
the
I
end."
I second that. That's what I feel like she was gonna say, but just in a much nicer way.
I'll just tack that on the end then. So before we close out, we're gonna go around. I want everybody to give out. We didn't do it earlier, but we could do it now. I want y'all to give out the game ball from week 3. So, Gotti and Britt, who y'all got for the game ball for your game against the Steelers?
Oh hell. I was getting ready to give like just an NFC South game ball. Can I do that?
Sure. Go ahead.
I think the NFC South game ball goes to Ridley. He had such a standout game. I think he did great.
Okay.
Now for my team, I'm gonna say, well, I would say Godwin, except he had a couple drop touchdowns that kind of I feel like cost us the game.
And the
So yeah, I was not impressed with that part. I think he's still fantastic. Did anybody do well for us? JPP did good.
Yeah, I think he is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
Okay, got it. Who you got? Game ball.
Mine's will go to Evans. I think Evans had a good game.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Jamie, Panther Nation, who
I,
your game ball?
I got Jackson. He had 2 interceptions.
That's Dante Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, that's dope. I'm gonna go ahead and man, it's a tough one. I got 2 players I want to give it to, but it's only fair that I give it to the elder statesman. So I'm gonna give it to Drew Brees. Mike got time to get some more from me, so I'm gonna get to Drew Brees with his almost 400 yards and 5 TDs and no turnovers, and that's amazing for Brees because usually he have a couple picks by now, at least 1 pick six. So I'm gonna give mine to Drew Brees. Then we're gonna use Brit's nominee. Calvin Ridley, we'll give it to him. I think he's worthy of that for their team. Any fans that y'all want to shout out in the invasion group before we get out of here?
I'll start. I want to give a shout out to Miss Angie Roberts, who was heavy on the game thread. I'm so glad to see you back, girl. Keep pounding.
That's what's up. Who y'all got for the Bucs?
Shout out JP, man.
Is it JB?
It's always JB.
Right. Y'all already know.
Hey,
Then I'm gonna shout out Alexis.
yeah.
What's up, girl? She has been all over the place.
Yeah, she stays.
Doesn't matter win, loss. Yes, she does, and always so positive. I love me some Alexis.
Definitely, shout out to her. And from what I can tell, she's not a catfish, so that's a good thing.
No, yes, I don't think she's a catfish. And my investigator skills have determined that Alexis is real.
That's what's up. So, and for Saints Nation, man, listen, we got to get more active. We can't be snitching. No more catfishing. You know what? Until we clean all this stuff up, we're not giving out no game balls to members until we see some people step up and act right.
I like it.
Wait though. To hear he been dragging in there with posts. You got to give credit when credit is due.
To who?
Because this man, TK, he been posting.
I got something for TK. Yeah, I got something else for him. Yeah, so if we gave out all the game balls and member of the week, then I'm going to go ahead and recognize our sponsor. Number 1, our donor, Rose Lane. We got to give a shout out to her. Y'all stop playing with Rose.
Shout out,
I appreciate her.
Love Rose.
She done sponsored the whole season. And then I also want to give
Shout
one
out
to TK
Rose.
Theory. He's also a sponsor of the show and U.S. Principal Insurance. So thank y'all for supporting the show and giving us an opportunity to be able to give out some great prizes. Y'all listeners, don't forget, after week 4, we're going to do our drawing where we could give away a t-shirt, an Invasion t-shirt. So be ready to get your shirt. We're going to pick the color, so don't even ask. I think black is the common color for all the teams. And we're going to put a nice little logo on there for you. So does anybody else have anything they want to throw out before we close the show?
Did we do the Falcons?
We didn't. I mean, it's a handful of Falcons that do their thing. K. Marie, Sade. I mean, Sade could get it every week. So,
I'd like to shout out Mr. Felix Rice, who came in and took his L like a man. So shout out Felix.
Chad.
All right. So
Ain't no shout out to Felix. You trying to tell him to text you.
Okay, T, we gotta close it out.
And on that note, we thank y'all for listening and joining. This has been the NFC South Blitz. This is the preview of Week 4 matchups. So y'all tune in, y'all keep it locked, and we'll catch y'all next week. We out of here. Peace.
Go Bucs.